He's wearing a black shirt. Wouldn't it be funny if we were like huge and like right now it's all fun and fresh? And then we get all big and it becomes a bird, and then we gotta travel and we gotta fly, and then you and I start to hate each other. It's like, I gotta be across on this fucking asshole again. Now it's just an hour.
The terrible fucking thought.
But I need the $20,000 check.
Exactly. For an hour of work, it's almost not worth it.
He's wearing a black shirt again.
Every time.
Oh, speaking of fashion, so you know those douchebag glasses?
Yeah.
Like these?
Oh, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking
Yeah. I know I'm old and shit, but I always hated these because it's the iconic, you're a tool.
What is that from originally? Is that from the 90s?
I think 90s, right?
I think it is 90s.
And I would never buy a pair. But I started seeing, like, I was like in Grand Rapids and area, and some of these young, hip, stylish, obviously affluent, and their shoes are right, everything was right, and they had these type of glasses on. I was like, what? I saw it a few times. Turns out they're in. These are finally in style, so I went and got a pair.
All right.
They are incredible.
Something.
I'll pick you up a pair.
Oh, yeah? I'll give them a shot.
Dude, you're going to love them.
The wraparound.
Yes. No wind, no glare.
Actually sounds nice.
People can't see your eyes.
It's like a hiding in a bush, kind of, looking
I kind of feel like a cyborg.
I am a machine. You are just another link. Get out of my way. I will crush you.
It does seem like, if they're going to put together a futuristic-looking robot, it would have those as its eyes.
Yeah.
And with AI and everything else, man.
The weird world we're headed into.
Yeah, dude. And with deep fakes and audio fakes. And... Dude, there's going to be a point in time when we don't know what's real and what's not.
Dude, it's 2023.
Yeah, it is.
Golfing. I mean, they're good golf. For going golfing.
Are they polarized?
If I can figure that out. I think I can.
I think you're good.
Anyway.
So, what's going on this week?
I was pretty busy, but Tucker Carlson.
Oh, yeah. Not only Tucker, they've got Don Lemon.
Don Lemon.
And somebody named like Susan Ross or something.
Oh, yeah, I think I heard about that.
She's part of the Biden presidency, but she resigned or something.
Susan Rice, but I'm not sure there was anything nefarious with that.
Yeah, but she was related in a way to like press or something.
Okay.
I think.
Maybe there's something we don't know yet.
Yeah, maybe. All of a sudden there's this big media shakeup.
Mm-hmm. I saw this one TikTok. You know me, I like to TikTok. And this guy on there had such a fabulous point. And it's basically where they do all this data sniffing, and the government's got this, pervasive big brother tech sniffing they're doing. That weaponry should be pointed at the politicians.
That would be nice.
We should know what the fuck they are doing.
Yeah.
And 15 seconds in, I was like, motherfucker's right. Right is gold.
Yeah. 100%. They need to be accountable to the people. 100%. The other thing I was watching Gary Gensler, was the SEC, was on trial in front of the House. Not on trial, but giving statements and testimony and stuff. Yeah, they were talking about credit scoring. I don't know if you've seen this credit scoring thing that's going on right now, where they're talking about House. There's like a new bill coming forward where you'll have to pay a penalty if you have good credit, right? So it'll actually potentially be more expensive for you to get a loan on a house if you have good credit rather than bad credit. And it's to help cover the bad credit people. And we started talking about credit scores and stuff. And one of the things he was talking about was that they have access to all the social media, that they can tell, like if you charge your phone every night, you're more likely to have good credit, right? Like, so now they're talking about using these things, like you charging your phone or me charging my phone every night, as part of a new credit score system. And, man, it's so invasive. It's so invasive to just dig into your personal life like that as the government. Like,
that was a sarcastic sigh. It gives me anxiety. You are giving me anxiety right
Dude,
now.
well, it's not even me. It's just the reality of the world and where we're going and everything.
Is that like maybe like a notch or an evolution? I don't like that term evolution, but like we're moving towards the hive mind or this collective society, and this is a component to it where we're like interconnected by these residual networks. I don't know. You see what I'm saying?
I do, yeah. It's almost like it's a progression to a more Orwellian society,
Yeah.
right? Because you can go towards more freedom, or you can go towards more Orwellian, and we're definitely pushing the Orwellian path for sure.
And I feel creepy about that. And the reason I feel creepy about that is because individuality
Right.
and free will,
Exactly.
those are two biggies.
Yeah, when you have a centralized power like the government in your head, so to speak, by monitoring everything you do, what happens is you're going to start to like self-censor and stuff like that. And ultimately, whereas it's like, okay, for the society as a whole, or the American society as a whole, maybe it's better for the society, but it is way worse for the individual in that society, kind of. And I think when you push too far one way or the other, you reach an unbalance, and then things start to turn in like you said, a kind of a creepy way.
Well, it's already a little bit creepy.
Of course. The other thing he was saying when he was talking about this stuff, he was like, I'm kind of letting it out, he said like that kind of a statement, and so it's like they already got the data, they're already there.
I think we are going through like an awareness, like people are waking up, like biblically they might refer to enlightenment, right? Or
Okay.
so
Oh, I see what you're saying.
with knowledge and the way it's going, and AI, big huge thing. Every week is different with AI. It's like some weeks I'm like, yeah, and some weeks I'm like, God, I'm scared.
Yeah. I think I started using like ChatGPT, playing with it when it was version 3. And then I stopped playing with it. I think it's already on like version 5 now or something. And then what they're doing now is integrating it kind of into everything. Like all the different tools, because when you talk to the AI, you can talk to it in English. So if you want to produce a program or like a software tool or something, you can tell it in English what to do.
Some of the stuff that you see these language interfaces with the responses is like, it makes me feel a certain kind of way. Some scary stuff.
Yeah. I suppose it's like anything else, right? It could be used for good. It could be used for evil. It could be a neutral thing, but
Maybe that's like the mark of the beast.
AI?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be possibly part of it. But the mark of the beast has like several characteristics to it that are specific. The one that always sticks out in my head is you will not be able to buy or sell without it.
Yeah, that's true. That is one component.
I was talking to a pastor about that because he was saying the mark of the beast is like, it's not an actual mark, but it's like, it's kind of like who you worship, what you do, where your mind is, so to speak.
Yes, I've heard that, and that makes a lot of sense.
So how do you determine whether or not you can buy or sell based on that?
Yeah. We don't know yet, possibly, but
it also says that it's going to be a mark on your right hand or on your forehead.
a couple podcasts ago, we talked about the currency war.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing. You end up talking about money.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Or if you follow the money,
Right.
it gets real interesting. The really, really brilliantly diabolical people know how to make themselves invisible.
Yes.
Everybody agrees there's a them,
Yeah.
and they're all talking about the same element, but everybody has a different description of who they are.
Right. Right. Because that's the one thing we don't really know. Who is it? Is it Soros? Is Soros a lapdog for them? Kind of thing. Like, how high does it go? And then, like you were saying earlier, there's a media shift now, which of course I think is going to translate into a narrative shift about what's going on, right? Because if they want to divide the people, and if you divide the people, then you can easily start to take their freedoms away. I just wonder if that media shift is a good thing or a bad thing. I'm hoping it's like to kind of calm down people and kind of bring people back together.
we need a media shift so bad. We need a media revolution.
Yeah. But it needs to be taken out of the hands of these, MSNBC, CNN, Fox News. It needs to be taken away from them and brought back down to the people.
This whole media thing, there's a way. And this is a personal challenge to these Reddit people, these geniuses on Reddit. Reddit will figure out how to.
You think so?
I think it'll be a big component of it.
I hope so.
Because that's what they're picking battlefields, and so far they're like coming out on top.
Yeah.
Like making statements.
Well, there's only one so far, right?
They hacked the AI for liberal bias.
Yeah.
Or exposed.
Yeah. There you go.
And then the GameStop, financial markets. See what I'm talking about?
I do, but that was like a moment in time that's kind of passed.
Right. Maybe they've been canceled. Maybe a couple of people died.
Maybe.
Self-inflicted gunshot wound to the back of the head.
Right, exactly. From like 40 yards out. I don't know. They certainly did come up and they stirred the pot, that's for sure. We definitely need some more of that.
Because change is always good in my opinion. Like, I'm a simple math person. If something's just not right, any kind of change, even if it just blows up, is good.
Okay.
Right?
Well, I don't know.
But just shake it up would be good.
Yeah.
Shake it up a little bit. It's like shedding skin, like bad skin, right? It's like just like almost an organic, natural thing that needs to happen. It needs to it got to an ugly color. Let's change the color.
Another way to look at it is like, let's say you're in a house and it's your house. Then your house blows up.
Yeah. Well, it is our house, I feel. I mean, it's a small world.
There'll be some remnants of the structure,
Let's just say we're experiencing life in this spectral 180 degree, whatever it is, multi-sensory experience. And it's like, I don't know, I'm just making up numbers, 24,000 hertz or something, right? Whatever. And you could you could get a game where you went hi-fi.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So you disconnected from the earthly somehow in this game, and you ascended to this realm with your senses were like 3 or 4 times what they are. Like, you can see the electromagnetic spectrum and shit.
I hear you.
Wow.
What does that do? Just out of curiosity, what is it?
Oh, like a VR thing, like a Neuralink or something, maybe. I don't know what it is.
And you have these sensors that can see that stuff.
Yeah. It'll probably be like the sci-fi things where there's like a thing that sticks to your...
But then what, though?
The reason I went there is because they talk about humans just like basically going to these metaverses and just like they live in those realms.
Okay.
Or almost, right? And that's a societal breakdown, isn't it? Something. Is that back to that hive mind thing? That's a component.
I think it pushes more to the hive mind.
It's the hive mind.
To the Orwellian.
Oh, see how we brought that all the way around to what we were talking about. That's perfect. That's that hive mind thing again.
Yeah.
Because that puts them on the same clock. Everybody's on the same clock, so to speak.
Yeah.
And that makes the world even weirder.
Yeah, because if you take a step back and look at that,
like this technology is like out there.
We become pod people. They feed us.
What if we are pod people?
Like in real life?
And this is just like our practice people or something. We're just like
life is so shitty that we're stuck in these fucking pods to have a virtual life experience that's better? Or what?
I want my money back.
I mean, it's not that bad.
No, it's not that bad.
I mean, if we're in pods, if the alternative is pod life.
Yeah. That's the older, mature, experienced, been through the ringer, rised again you says that. But the younger you and me, that's an old man skill there to have a good attitude and say, I wouldn't change a thing. And actually mean it. Almost.
Like I said, could be better.
Yeah.
It definitely could be better. For sure. Actually, okay, this is something I wanted to talk to you about because you went through it now, and you can't talk to somebody about this if they haven't gone through it. Mm-hmm. Where you have that time that you spend with yourself, right? And So you went through it when you were out here for the winter or whatever. It was a whole lot of Wally and only Wally,
Yeah.
right?
It got weird.
It certainly can. But I've had that too. I've had that time where it's just David and only David. But what happens that I've noticed when you go through that time is you have almost a clarity that comes through in life. And when you look at other things and you watch people and you see like, what are their actual concerns based on like how are they making decisions? You know, how influenced are they by other people to make those decisions? Are they actually thinking for themselves, or are they just desperate to have approval from other people?
Yeah.
Therefore, they'll literally do anything to kind of get that approval. And I've noticed that can lead to a lot of bad decisions and lead to like an fucking like you're almost lost in that, right? Because you're not guiding yourself. You're not thinking for yourself.
Yeah. Those are like, and like, that's like an awakening when you start to realize that, you know, the earthly realms aren't easy, man. It's like a bewildering landscape.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's a quote. You know what Gary Vee is?
Yeah, I like Gary Vee.
He was saying something once and he was like talking about somebody who doesn't know how to do something. And he was like, it's 2020. If you don't know how to use Google, fuck you. You know what I mean? Like, fuck you. You're done. Go away.
And the other thing that I've been trying to do, which is just, I think, very smart, is to start trying to use like Google Assistant on a higher level. And I started doing it a little bit and I was very disappointed.
What do you need Google Assistant for again?
When I'm driving a lot and stuff, I just would like to be, I would like to be able to say, hey, that last podcast, that last 30 seconds of video that I just watched on YouTube, can you add that to my podcast file?
Nope.
And make a note?
No. What you can do is on your YouTube app, click save, create a file, and save that video to that file.
But I don't want to touch nothing.
Too fucking bad, bitch.
Because I will die. You can't be, 80 miles an hour down the highway and a.
Oh, here's what you do. You create a podcast list, okay, on YouTube. There's a save button when you're watching a video. You click the save. Whatever list you created, it automatically puts it into that folder. So when you're on there, you just click save.
Well, then what if Grandma Mona calls me and says, I want to send you a link to whatever to the apple pie recipe, and I'm going to do a different application. And I want that to go to a different folder. Then I got to press a damn button.
Well, life is hard, isn't it? I don't know what the fuck to tell you, dude. Like,
You know what that was, Dave? Right there?
what?
The sarcastic side.
You're bitching to me about having to push a button. And I'm telling you too fucking bad, and you're going to give me a sarcastic fucking side. Fuck
It's
lazy,
2023. I shouldn't have to push buttons anymore.
You know what that is?
I'm sorry.
No, you know what that is?
Because I have higher standards than you.
You know
What is it, Dave?
It's a fucking entitled bratty bitch is what that is.
Entitled bratty bitch.
Yep. Fucking whiny child. Shut the fuck up and push a button.
Ignorance is bliss. I was having a conversation with my brother the other day. He's a University of Michigan grad, devil manager. He came out of University of Michigan, liberal as shit. And he has gone pretty much with just like, he's tuned out. He doesn't really watch news anymore, which is healthy, right?
Yeah, it's almost a good way to go.
Yeah. So I was fired up about something, and sometimes I like to just like lash out at him a little bit, just like whatever. And he had that ignorance, and I was jealous. Got to get back there. You just got to tune out of the mainstream shit.
Oh, that was another thing Tucker Carlson said in that tweet. Because, okay, so Fox News, whatever, fired him, he left Fox News, or they got rid of him, whatever the hell happened. He's not with Fox News anymore. He puts a tweet out, kind of in his old show style. Good evening. It was at 8 o'clock. You know what I mean? And first off, that tweet got like 70 some million views, which is like 20 times as normal viewership, which is massive.
Dang.
He started talking about how all of the little debates you see on these news channels are actually completely irrelevant to your life.
Mhm.
They're about these small little irrelevant things that maybe can strike you emotionally so that you kind of care.
Yeah,
And then
that's it right there.
yeah, and then all the big stuff, all the stuff that's really going to change your life and make a difference is not talked about. You know, that was like kind of a theme of his video tweet that he did.
Yeah.
And boy, we need a change like that. We need to get over all of this just stupid shit that affects 0.5% of the population, you know, and actually start getting into things that are going to make a difference and change our life, because you can't talk about how kind of sick society can become and is kind of pushing in that direction as long as we're focused on, you know, bathrooms and I don't know, man. It just, there's like a lack of common sense almost
That's a component, you know, if you personality typed political parties, right? They're just too emotional.
right.
Someone in astrology could tell us what sign the liberals are, but they're fucking never mind.
The thing is, conservatives can be emotional too.
Absolutely true.
Yeah.
Thank you for saving me.
Yeah. I don't know, man. They make you focus. They're like, here, look at this little sideshow. Look at this little song and dance over here, which is basically them playing to your emotions, tugging your strings, specifically on purpose.
Yeah, oh, I hate that.
And
It tastes so bad.
Yeah. And while there's like much bigger things to be concerned about, I just don't like it. Like our tax code is garbage.
The fear mongering in the COVID crisis, I was so angry. You know, if you look at my social media posts, it's like this fear mongering, and it's always a sign that, boy, there's something shady initiative back here, you know, when it gets fascist like that and stuff. Turns out, pretty shady.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole COVID thing was basically just, God, it was an exercise in control and money making, you know?
And then, you know what they spot? The truckers were my heroes
Yeah.
when they did their blockade. Because these restrictions hit them the most, right? I mean, they have a hard enough job, but then they were forced into the, you know what I mean? I can understand why, as an industry, they did what they did.
Yeah.
And they were touted as, you know, Nazis, racists.
Well, that's like the go-to.
Right.
These people are going against what we want them to do, therefore not.
But guess what? They touted that the truckers were terrible, and they lost somehow. That the movement lost. It didn't lose, right? Everything changed after that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Suddenly, nobody cared of what box you checked on your corporate employment form.
Yeah.
That's why, because the truckers won. But they don't spin it that way.
Right.
You hate people, so you do a lot of reading and shit.
I don't hate people. You know what it is, man? I just don't like small talk.
I don't either.
So
We share that. But if you don't like small talk, you're an asshole to some people.
yeah, that's fine.
You're supposed to say, we're supposed to have a few exchanges because everything's fluffy sunshine and I got all the time in the world.
Right.
No, I hate it.
Yeah, you can shove that fucking shit up your ass. I guess that's
So
what makes you an
stupid.
asshole.
I don't even like talking about the weather. What is it, cynicism that I'm developing or something? I don't know what it is.
Could be.
Lack of patience? I don't know.
But the weather it's when it's nice and warm and sunny, dude, it's super nice.
Well, you want to be sincere. There's a better word.
Authentic.
Authentic, right? And it's unauthentic to me to make this fluffy shit up.
Yeah. I agree.
If I do that small talk stuff, usually I'll just do like a one-liner like joke, you know, so that it's over.
Give me an example.
Okay, so like I would do phone systems. So I would be the dude putting in the new business phone system for an insurance company or something. And I would come to their cubicle and I might say something like, oh, go home for the day, you know, just joking
Okay.
as a joke.
Right.
And they had seen me going around, right? So that if they're paying attention, they're like, oh, great.
How was that a joke?
But
Go home.
in one sentence it says, you know what's going on here. Leave the cubicle for a second so I can get your phone switched out.
Ah, okay.
All right.
Gotcha.
My delivery probably was better in the process, right? Because I'm like,
For sure.
right, you had to be there.
Right.
That's your example. That's my example.
Okay.
I don't like small talk is because, you know, I've done project management. I've been situations where I would receive 120 phone calls a day where I had multiple people handling my email because there was so much going on. You know what I mean? And you develop a no patience for that wasted time.
Yeah.
But you kind of need a little bit of it, right? Because you got to like feed people out. It's like, it's the small talk, right? Try to be different.
Yeah.
If you're going to make an impact on somebody. That's one thing people say about me, which I'm not sure if it's a compliment or what, but I leave a mark, you know?
Yeah.
You'll remember me.
Right. Yeah, that's interesting because when I was working in a software company and I had to do installs on like some larger courthouses, there was one time when I went down there and I had to do like 30 or 40 station installs and it was an upgrade, right? And it was relatively simple. I had to copy some files over, whatever. But I wanted to make sure I got them all done so that I didn't have to spend another day down there, right? The next day. If I didn't get them all done, I'd have to stay overnight in a hotel and then do it again the next day. And I'm going through and I'm copying it all over and I'd finish up the computer. And at one point, I got into a PC, and when you're in a courthouse, this is something I learned. Judges are almost like royalty in that courthouse. They're like the kings of the courthouse, you know, and they're treated like that. They're like a big deal. They're almost like the very respectable celebrities, kind of, is what it seems like. So I'm over there, and I'm working on and this was a judge's office, right? And there was two ladies out front who would handle people coming in, the receptionists, kind of, and I was on their computers. And then the judge comes walking through, like, oh, do you want to meet the judge? And it's like, no, I have no interest in meeting this judge at all. What I want to do is get this work done so I can move on to the next one. And so she asked me that, and I'm like, you know, I get up, and he can tell I do meet the judge, right? And I'm like, how you doing, sir? And he's like, it's an absolute pleasure to meet you, is what he said to me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
He made an impact.
He did. He threw me back on my heels almost, so to speak, you know?
Yeah.
Because he knew that I was extremely busy and that I wanted to do this.
Because that's what you were wearing. He read you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And he said that to me, and he threw me back on my heels, and I was like, I don't remember what I said. I was like, likewise, or it's a pleasure to meet you as well, or you know, something like that. And then I got back to work, but it was just funny that, like, you know, whatever. Somehow that story related to something.
You still have the same people skills.
Right, yeah. It's like, that's what
I'm sorry today. You're just such an easy target for some reason. You're kind of like, you're not that social.
No, I'm not that interested.
But then you are social.
Okay.
But your personality is just pretty much pure asshole.
Could be.
But you're like super generous with your time and shit, and you're like giving, and you're funny as fuck.
Well, I try, you know.
But you're just asshole.
Yeah, well, I think there's a balance that's struck in that, right? So you have words and you have actions.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't take words as seriously as I take actions.
No, I'd like that. You test people.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is smart.
Assholes are actually the good people.
I know.
And the good people are actually the assholes.
I know.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Somebody write it down.
right. He's like, it's like you have to be able to get to know an asshole.
Google, make a note. Please. And it really doesn't work that way. Come on.
No.
223.
I think it probably does that work that way. And maybe, how old are you? 50 something?
I need help then, Dave.
Yeah.
It's been a project that I haven't done enough. All I said earlier was, I went and tried to.
Yeah, because there's definitely, you can say, okay, Google, make a note
easier.
in my podcast folder. Here's a note. Blah, 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 blah.
Why can't you just give it like a class of service and just say, hey, we have access to everything. Let's go.
I'm going to piss, dude.
Fine. I'll make some coffee.
Oh, God.